Hello and welcome back. So today just wanted to pop in and discuss my next drawing that I'm starting today. So hopefully you can see behind me there on my screen I've got a lovely picture from Pixabay of a blue tip, and this is what I've chosen for my next draw. So I just wanted to, as I say, discuss a couple of things before the first video. You know me for my drafting film probably if you're following me already, but I'm going to actually be using a paper for a surface for a change. Just fancied a change, that's all. So this is the one that I'm going to be using. Now if you don't have this one, don't worry, just use what paper you have and enjoy the drawing. Also with the pencils that I use, if you don't have, don't worry, you know. So I'll have the materials of everything that I'm going to be using in the first video, or in all the videos actually, because I use different colours obviously. But yeah, I'll put the materials list on the video. So I'm sitting on the edge of my chair because my dog's decided to take half the chair behind me. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to have the pencil material on the videos. I'll also share the line art as I always do, if you want to do it, and I think that's all I need to discuss with you. I can also send the reference photo as well if you want to. Just give me a message. While I'm here actually, I will just say I'm getting messages on my YouTube channel asking for the line art. Now unfortunately I can't actually send it on that platform, so do just message me on my Instagram or Facebook and I can send it to you there, and you know, you can get the line art and reference photo, and if you've got any questions just let me know. But please do enjoy the drawing. If you don't have anything that I'm using or some parts of it, don't worry, just use what you have. It's just, you know, a draw along, just enjoy it, and yeah, I think that's all I need to say before the video, and I really hope you enjoy it and give it a go. It's really not as hard as you think, so I record the whole process in real time, so you know, yeah, give it a go and see how you get on. And just one last thing before we all go, just wanted to ask, if you are enjoying the videos, don't forget to hit the like button just to let me know that you're enjoying them. And yeah, I think we'll get on now. I've got my coffee, half drunk, but anyway, I'm going to get started with this lovely drawing, and I hope that you join me. Okay, let's get this started. So I think the best place to start is with the eye. Obviously we're working on quite a small scale here, so hopefully I've enlarged it enough for you to see. I'm going to start with the cold grey 6, and as you can see in the reference photo, we've got like this dark strip coming across his eye, so I'm going to map that out. He's got a little light bit around his eye, so I'm going to leave that, and then we'll start with the inside of the eye. So I think first things first, let's get this little ring around his eye. Ooh. Brush that off. There was quite a lot of pigment. That's the trouble when you're working with quite a sharp pencil. You know, you have to be quite gentle. Let's get the inside of the eyeball in. Okay, so I think that'll be fine. So it looks a bit odd at the moment, but that's it. Let's just carry on with the cold grey 6, and I just want to get the first layer of this sort of darkish stripe he's got. I'm not using much pressure at all, I'm literally just sort of touching the paper just to get the colour down. I've also lightened my reference photo. It is quite a dark photo, it's quite a moody type photo if you like, so I have lightened mine just so I can see it better, so that might be worth doing on your end as well. So I'm just getting the shape of this stripe. We can refine this eye a bit more while we're doing it. Okay, and then let's take that up to the beak. So I am looking at the direction of the fur as well. So at the front here it's sort of coming over this way. And then he's got a couple of little bits coming down here. It needs a bit more up the top here, I'd say. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that. Let's just put a bit more down the bottom here. So I don't want a stripe as such, I just want it to look nice and natural. Looking at the fur direction as always. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that for now. I think what we'll do now is concentrate on the actual eye. Now I'm going to put a bit of brown ochre actually in, burnt ochre. It's like an orangey brown colour, just as a base layer on one side of the eye, just to give it a bit of colour under the black. So I'm just going to put a bit down this side. Obviously it's a very dark eye, but you'll be surprised, just putting a bit of colour in under the black, it does actually make a difference. I'll be gentle with my brush because I'm not on film. So yeah, I've just put a little dash of colour there. Okay, let's have a look. So I think the warm grey 6 now would be good. Now I did think about putting a really tiny pupil in, but I think because it's just so small and it's quite a dark eye, as you can see, I think that would be, you know, just a bit silly to bother about a little pupil. Now we have got a catch light up the top here, so I'm going to leave a little space, but I'm going to go over the rest of it with this warm grey 6, just nice and gently. So I'm going to leave a tiny catchphrase there. Catch light, not catchphrase. You know what I mean? I've got this, I'm just going to put a bit more of a ring around the eye. So we do need quite sharp pencils for this because we are on such a tiny little scale there. Okay, now I think what I'll do now is go straight to the black. I might have to sharpen that actually. Okay, so I'm going to start in the middle and I'm just going to go round and round as if I'm doing a pupil. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I think if I just do that in the middle and then work around out to the outer part. I think that's worked quite well actually. So say less is more, I think, with this sort of area. Okay, and then I think I'm wondering if a cold grey 2 to fill in that catch light. So I've got the warm grey 2. I'm just going to bring it over that little area, and I think that'll be all we need there. Now for this outer part, I've got the warm grey 3, because obviously it's not white, but it is lighter than the fur around it. So I'm just filling in this light little blank ring that we have with the warm grey 3. And I think that's all we need for the eye. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat today, it seems. I'm going to go back to the cold grey 6 now, and I'm just going to put a bit more pressure on the fur around, just to get the colour in now that we've got the eye in. Just so we know that we're happy with the eye there. I'm quite happy with that, I think. I'm just going to bring this colour out. We've got 2 little bits coming down here, so we might as well get them in now. Okay, now I'm going to go to the black now. I'm not going to do it all over with the black, but I just want to darken up mainly around the eye area. I have to keep reminding myself that I can actually blend because I'm not on the film. If you know me and my art, I normally work on film, so this is quite unusual for me to work on a paper surface, but it's a nice change. Okay, I'm going to go back to the warm grey 3 because I just want to fill in around the eye a bit more because that's still a bit too light. Okay, I'm going to go back to the black. Just going to work inside the eye a bit more. Okay, so now I think what would be a good place to start is we've got the cold grey 2 and we've got this little sort of bluey patch, bluey purple patch up here. So I'm going to start with the cold grey 2. Just get this shape in. Again, nice gentle pressure. Okay, so I'm just going back and forth just to get the colour in there. I'm just going to take it a bit higher on the top of his head actually. Get rid of those pencil marks there. And then now I've got two colours here that I think we're going to use. So I've got the Prussian blue and the delth blue. The delth blue's got a purpley tinge to it, so I think that would be good towards the back. So let's go with the Prussian blue first. Mine's not particularly sharp, but it will be fine. So it's more of a purpley colour up the top here. I just want to put a bit more of a blue underneath. Okay, let's go to the delft blue. I'm going to start from the back, I think. Okay, I think that's an okay colour combination there. We need to blend that a bit more now, so let's go back to the cold grey 2, I think. I'm just going to blend all that. I just want to merge all that together. It will lighten it all, but I just want to fill the tooth. Right, so before we do any more to that little blue bit on the top of his head, I'm going to go to the cold grey 1, and I just want to fill in all the surrounding area. You might not be able to see this, but it's a very light bluey colour. I'm not going to worry about my pencil marks for now because they're so light I can take them out anyway. And it will just merge in with that blue that we've just put in. And just keep an eye on the direction of the fur as well, or the feathers, whatever you want to call them. Do that little bit on the top of his head there. I'm too scared to use my brush really, but it should be okay. Let's do underneath as well while we've got this cold grey 1. Now it's coming over this way, and it'll also help to sort of blend into the black and grey there that we've put in already. it's quite short, stubby little feathers down here that we need to remember. So I'm just going back and forth with the pencil, and then as we go down, and then they start to come across here like this. So they sort of go up and then down again, a bit sort of like a curl. Good. Let's go to the cold grey 3 now, I think. Let's start darkening up this side. So we're just literally building up the layers, really. I am wondering if a sepia 10 would be any good here. I might give it a go. Might give that a bit of a sharpen actually, get a bit more colour. That's better. So I just keep getting stupid pop-ups on my computer. A bit more up there. It's actually quite dark on this side. Okay, I might actually get the sepia 10 just to add a bit more colour, just to give it a bit more well, as I say, colour really. So I've got the sepia 10 in the Luminance range. It's just a lovely light brown with a bit of mauve tint to it. It's a lovely colour to have. Okay, I think what I'll do now is let's go back to the Polychromes black. I'm now going to darken this up again. Let's do this bit at the back here. So where I want it darker, I'm just putting a bit more pressure on, especially around the eye area. I'm just getting a bit more black in where needed. Okay, I think what would be good now is to revisit this area up here, darken that up again now. We've been using the delth blue, so let's go back with the delth blue. We need to get some colour black back now because we've blended it all, so it's got a bit pale, so we want that colour back in. Let's darken this bit up now. Let's go to the dark indigo. It's a much deeper blue. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the cold grey 2, I think. Yeah, cold grey 2. I'm just going to blend it a bit more. Okay, I think what I'll do next is get a bit more darker areas in. So let's sort of, this darker area that's framing around, let's get that in. I'm going to go to the cold grey 6, might be a good idea. So I've got the cold grey 6. I've got the beak there. we've got a tiny bit coming across. I'm just keeping an eye on the direction. And then at the back here, I think I might have to move everything. Just do this front bit and then I might have to move everything my end. So it comes across down here. So I've just moved my paper over. So I've still got the cold grey free. I just want to map out this area here around the lighter bit there. Okay, and then I think what would be good, because we've got kind of like a bluey tinge at the back of this neck area, so I'm going to go to the cold grey free before we go over to the yellowy type feathers. It's not all black at the back here. Just going over the cold grey 6 as well, just so it all merges together there. Then I'm going to add a bit of a blue. I'm going to go back to the delth blue. Just put a bit of that in at the end here. Gently brush off any pigment there. If we do get a bit of muck on the paper, these kneadable rubbers are always very good to just dab out any pencil or anything like that. That's why it's another good reason to be gentle with the pencils, just so you can dab it out again if you need to. Okay, that's great. And while I've got the delft blue, I'm going to add a touch more of that on the top here. So it's a nice sort of purpley blue colour. It's the best sort of matching pencil colour I can think of for this colour really. I think there's a violet blue, but it was a bit too purpley. So I think this one's the best match. Okay, I think that's working quite nicely. So I think what I'll do now is I'm going to go back to the cold grey 6. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on the back here. Just keep going back and forth just to get that colour in. I don't want to go too heavy on the pencil because it just doesn't look right. We want it to keep natural looking. I'm taking the pencil up and under the whiter area or lighter colour not really white. Just keep that direction as well going, and then we sort of come down towards the front of his face. And if we sort of go into the lighter area, it looks like that they're coming over the darker area. Okay. I think what would be a good colour as well, actually, before I go to the black, is the dark indigo, especially on this bit, just to put a bit of blue in as well. It just adds another layer as well, so it's easier to blend there. Alright, let's go to the black. Put a bit more pressure down now, just to darken it. I'm not taking it right to the edge because I don't want to. I might put some violet in there actually, like can't think of the colour now. I know what I mean. Just to put a bit more colour in. And then it's quite dark under here, so let's put a bit more pressure on, get it in. I'm going to add a bit of a brown colour there. I'm going to go to the dark sepia, I think. Did think about the walnut brown, but I think put a bit of dark sepia in. Okay, and then the colour I was thinking, let's see if I can find it. I can't for the life of me think of the name of it, but I know the colour that I want. And it's the smallest pencil, that's it. The Caput Mortuum Violet. I thought that might be a nice touch just at the back here. Just to give it a bit of warmth. And a touch at the front here as well. I mean, it's very small amounts, but you'll be surprised how it does change it overall. Okay, it's great so far. I think get this beak in and refine it, and then that's the head done. So let's get this beak in. Right, so I've got the warm grey 3 Actually, I might just sharpen that as well. Let's get the shape of this beak. Again, there's not a huge amount of detail in, but we're putting what we've got. So I've got just coming down the centre here, and it sort of goes down. Just going to colour in the bottom part. Looks a bit better now he's got a beak. I think for the top part I'm going to go with the sepia 10%. Okay, let's go with the dark sepia. I'll just come along the bottom bit here. Going to come in at the top a little bit. Let's go with the black. Let's just get this bottom bit in. I've got the black here. I'll put a bit more pressure on just because it's very dark under here. Thinking of a cold grey because it's a bit of a bluey tinge on the top part. Let's go with the cold grey 3. Try and get a nice clean edge at the edge there. Okay, I'm going to go to the cold grey 6 now. I'm just going to darken some areas of the top part of the beak. I don't want to go all over. But again, we're working in such a little space here. Okay, let's go to the dark sepia. I just want to get this sort of middle part in. And then let's go with the warm grey 2, just for the end there, just to soften it up. And I think that'll be it for the beak. I don't want to do too much more. Okay, and I'm just going to get my kneadable rubber just to clean it up around the edge there, so it's nice and clean. And I think that'll be all that's needed for that. Okay, so let's go to the cold grey one now, because I just want to do these lighter bits here. So I've got the cold grey one just coming in front of the darker bit here. I am going to take it into the this area just so it sort of merges in, and then I'll probably darken it again. And just a bit at the top here. There goes my dog. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go to dark sepia again rather than the black. I've got the dark sepia and I just want to do this bit at the front here. And bring it over the cold grey one there. Okay, good. Right, so I just need to do a bit more refining to the head area now before we move down. I'm going to go with the warm grey 4, and we just want to make this area look a bit more, so it's more connecting rather than just white and dark colour. So I'm just going to, and it's quite dark in this area anyway. I'm going to sharpen that. And then if we need to lighten it any more as well, we can just go over with the white Pablo. Which I probably will do anyway. Let's put a bit of that up the top here. I'm just going to go over this lightly because I just want to deepen the colour, you know, to just make it a bit darker, because it is actually quite dark. And we'll get the white Pablo and just add a few white bits here and there. Let's put a bit here as well. We have got a little white bit here where the sun's on him. So if I just put this through in areas there. Okay, good. A bit more at the top here. Okay, great. Let's get that white Pablo. Mine's quite sharp. I'm just going to sort of do some white little flecks coming over the darker areas there. I just use my emery board just to sharpen it a little more. I think this is where I miss my drafting film. And then coming over the top of his head here, just gonna, can't really see the white, but it will just soften the edges there. I'm just gonna give that a bit of a clean. I'll drag the blue over. Okay, good. Well, I think that'll be it for the head for now. I might just run a little bit on the top here actually of the beak. Good, okay. Right, I think we'll start working on this sort of creamy yellow colour. And if we need to revisit this area, we'll see how we go, but I think we're pretty much there with that. So yeah, let's move on to this area here next. Right, so the first colour I think what would be good, I've got the olive brown 10%. So it's like an olive brown colour. It's not yellow here, so I'm going to add this colour. I'm just going to block it all in at the moment, nice and gently, and then we'll add a yellow next. Now, I'm not going to go right up to the blue. Now, it's just coming across this way, so I am checking the direction of the feathers. That's my dog making funny noises. My neighbours like to slam their door, so I don't think my little dog's very happy about it, so she has to let me know. I think that's actually quite a good colour. I'm going to bring that over this way as well. And then we just take this down the back here. Yeah, I think that's quite a good colour, because I was trying to find a good colour for this area. And this was the best I could find, I think. So now I'm going to put in a bit of a yellowy colour. So I'm going to go to the Polychromes cream. I don't know how this is going to work, but actually I think that's not too bad. That's quite good. I'm just going back and forward just to get that colour in. Bit at the front here as well while we've got it. Now I'm wondering if a cotton bud would be any good at this stage. So I've just got a nice clean cotton bud. Just seeing if it blends. Well, it's not doing too bad, to be fair. Just so we can get into that paper groove. Okay, I think that's worked quite well. So now we need to darken this bit up, especially at the front here. So I got the raw umber 50%, again in the Luminance. I thought this would go quite nice just to darken this area up. And this is where I can get the direction of these feathers. And it's quite dark coming underneath here, so I'm going to pull it in this raw umber. So I'm just sort of going up and down with a pencil to like replicate the feathers that are sweeping across here. And then let's go down the back here. I just want to do this back bit here. I think I'm going to go with a sepia 10. That's working quite nice with the raw umber anyway. Okay, now I think I might get the cotton bud back just to blend that all in again. I'm just going to go back to the indigo, dark indigo, just round up the top here. So I've got a nice transition there up the top. I'm just going over the sepia 10 a bit as well, just at the back here. Okay, let's go back to the raw umber, I think. Where's that gone now? I've got the raw umber back. I think we've got a good colour palette for this actually. Quite pleased with that. So just darken in areas here. Got the dark, no, not the dark sepia, the sepia 10%. Just want to bring it down the back here and just down here a bit more. And let's put a bit over here as well. Good. So one more colour before I end this area. I've got the cobalt, the light cobalt blue in the Luminance here, and I thought that would be nice just coming around the bottom of the lighter area here. It will just add a bit more bluey tinge there. You can even add a violet colour also, but I've just gone for the light cobalt. I think that works quite nice. I'm just doing light pressure just to get a bit of colour in there. Put a bit up the top here as well. It just goes nice with the other blues. It's very subtle, but especially when you're working with gold, greys as well, it's just nice to add a bit of colour there. Okay, great. I think that's a very good start anyway.